Hello everybody, this is Tip Top Gaming here today with another Magic the Gathering video. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down some more Theros Beyond Death spoilers. So why don't we jump right into this? Starting off, we have Pious Wayfarer, which is a 1-cost creature human scout 1/2, and it says whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. I could see this being part of some infinite combo somewhere, but it's more of a limited card than something meant for standard. Dawn Evangel is a 3-cost enchantment creature human cleric 2/3, and it says whenever a creature dies, if an aura you controlled was attached to it, return target creature card with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to your hand. This basically allows you to take any creature that was equipped and make it, if it costs 2 or less, so a cheaper creature, you can just get it back. However, it can't be a token because, well, tokens don't go to your, they can't go back to your hand, obviously. I think this card is moderate. Again, I think it's more of a limited card, but I could see this squeezing into some sort of aura-based deck. Next, we have Arcana Falling Stars. It's a 6-cost creature Archon with flying, and it's a 4/4, and it says whenever it dies, you may return target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So this costs 6, plus you have to get it killed. So that's a lot of work to cheat something out, but if there's ever a 12-cost enchantment, well, this is definitely going with that. Other than that, I don't see this going well. There's only 2 other Archons in Standard, so I don't see that even being a deck either. So that's interesting, but probably not that great. Next, we have Omen of the Sea. It's a 2-cost enchantment flash, and it says when it enters the battlefield, scry 2, then draw a card. Then you can pay 3 and sacrifice Omen of the Sea to scry 2. I believe we saw this actually in a previous spoiler, in a leak. Now, I think that if you are running either an enchantment deck or a devotion deck, you probably want to run the Omens, because these are a bunch of Omens. At least this one, because it costs 1 more than Opt, but it lets you scry 2. However, it also sticks around for 1 blue devotion, and it sticks around for an enchantment. Plus, you then get the option to scry 2 again. So I think in either an enchantment deck or a devotion deck, you would definitely run the Omen of the Sea over something like Opt. Next, we have Shimmerwing Chimera. It's a 4-cost enchantment creature Chimera, and it's a 3/2 with flying, and it says at the beginning of your upkeep, return up to 1 other enchantment you control to its owner's hand. So it does say up to, so you don't have to do that. I feel like this is the start of some infinite, maybe not infinite, but some sort of combo that's really obnoxious, where an enchantment like this Omen that we just talked about, where you can just keep bouncing it to your hand using this card. So I think this will work really well with the Omens or any enchantment that has a good enter the battlefield ability, such as any of the, I guess the gods really don't have enter the battlefield abilities, but this allows you to do some interesting things. I don't know, I'd have to see the full set to really judge this card. Next, we have Calafate Beloved of the Sea. It's a 3-cost legendary enchantment creature demigod. So we saw one of the demigods, the white one, earlier. Now this is another demigod. It's Calafate Beloved of the Sea's power is equal to your devotion to blue. So that's different. The other one was toughness. So this comes down as a 2/3 for 3, and it says creatures and enchantments you control have spells your opponents cast that target this permanent cost 1 more to cast. So this makes basically all creatures and enchantments harder to hit, which includes gods and demigods. And this can rapidly get really strong, which is surprising. I would expect toughness for a blue deck, but this is a very aggressive card for blue. Next, we have Fafsa, Deep Dwelling. So this is the last mono enchantment god. It's a 4-cost legendary enchantment creature god, 6/5. That's one of the more aggressively statted ones, and it's in blue. And says as long as your devotion to blue is less than 5, Fafsa isn't a creature. It says at the beginning of your end step, exile up to 1 other target creature you control, then return that creature to the battlefield under your control. That is kind of crazy. I mean, anything. So that 1 blue, I know this wouldn't fit in there, but that 1 white creature that's create soldier tokens when it enters the battlefield equal to your devotion to white, or Gary, or really anything that has an a really powerful enters the battlefield ability. This is just constant looping of that, which I don't think blue really needed. And then you can pay 4 to tap another target creature, so that's decent. I mean, it could be the thing that lets you win the game. I don't think you're building around the tap another target creature. I think you're building around that at the beginning of your end step, exile something and flicker it. It disables a lot. It disables any enchantment aura-based, pin downs, because, well, you're just going to flicker it. So it's interesting to see. By the way, this does mention that it has to be an other creature, so this creature can still be pinned down. Next, we have a Farour RPS Bow, fray. I'm sorry, this is in a different language. It says, though, it's a 2/1, I believe, with flying, and it says, when it enters the battlefield, exile a card in a graveyard. So that's okay. It's needed at the common slot, but it's not that great. Next, we have Chimera, chosen from Death. It's a 2-cost legendary enchantment creature demigod, and it says its toughness is equal to your devotion to black, so it looks like they're going back and forth on that. But it says pay 2, exile up to 2 target cards from graveyards. You gain 1 life for each creature card exiled this way. So they're really looking at black just destroying escape, which is kind of funny because all the black creatures are the ones escaping. But there's lots of exile in this set, which is, I don't know if that's going to be the downfall of escape, but it's really necessary in order for escape to not be overpowered and limited. Next, we have Erebos' Intervention. It's an X black instant, and it says choose 1. Target creature you control gets -X/-X until end of turn. You gain twice X life. So this could just be a nice kill spell and gain life. Or it could be exile up to twice X cards from graveyard. So you can exile a bunch of cards, or you can give a bunch of things -X/-X. So that's an interesting card. I don't think it's something I'd go out of my way to get, but I could see throwing this into like a mono black deck. Next, we have Omen of the Forge. It's a 2-cost enchantment flash. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to any target, and then you can sacrifice it to scry. So again, this feels like a little bit overpriced shock, but you do get the 1 red devotion, and you get an enchantment on your enchantment count. So I think, again, this should be played in any enchantment or devotion deck. Next, we have the Triumph of Anak. It's a 3-cost saga, and it actually has 4 steps, but 3 of them are the same. And it says, until end of turn, target creature gains trample and gets +X/+O, where X is the number of lore counters on the Triumph of Anak. So turn 1, it gives it +1, +0, +2. Turn 2, it gives it +2. Turn 3, it gives it +3. And then turn 4, it says target creature you control fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Which doesn't really make a lot of sense because it's not getting a boost at this time, but it is powerful. For 3, you're boosting it 3 times in a row and then making things fight. I could see this going in a Krenko deck where you boost it, you know, give it +1, that gives it another goblin +2, that gives it 2 more goblins +3, you know, so on and so forth. You could also, if you could instant speed proliferate, you could boost this number up a bunch. That'll be interesting to see how that works, though. Next, we have Phoenix of Ash, and it's a 3-cost creature from Phoenix, flying haste, and it says pay 3, and it gets +2 until end of turn. Kind of overpriced. I'd rather pay 1 and get 1. Escape, pay 4, exile 3 other cards from your graveyard, and it escapes with a +1/+1 counter on it. So this is pretty typical Phoenix. Keeps coming back. Don't have much to say about it. Next, we have the first Aronian game, so like the first Olympics, basically. 3-cost green enchantment saga, and it says phase 1 or step 1, create a 1/1 human soldier creature token. 2, put 3 +1/+1 counters on target creature you control. So in this idea, you're putting it on the 1/1. Step 3, if you control a creature with power 4 greater, draw 2 cards. So if you put the 3 counters on the 1/1, you would have a power 4 greater creature. And then 4, create a gold artifact creature artifact token. So this creates a 4/4, draws you 2 cards, and creates mana. That's pretty insane for green. It's spread out over 4 turns, so I don't know if it's going to be that powerful, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. Alrighty, guys, that's going to do it for this video. This was the first spoiler. I wanted to just talk about what I think about Limited, and this was my little reminder. I think Limited is going to be interesting in this set. The only issue is the gods are too unbeatable. It's kind of like the gods from War of the Spark. They were just this really big threat that just kept coming back and were really annoying. So it'll be interesting to see how Limited turns out. I'm probably going to do a video covering the state of Limited with Theros Beyond Death. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, found it useful, please hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.